Let's start first, though, with Fred Kerley, because Fred Kerley's March has been something to behold here. He goes 999 into a headwind in Florida, winning by a gigantic margin. And you put this in context of what he's already done in March of 2022. This has been his March. He ran 44.47 in Grenada. He ran 20.04 in Tempe. And then he goes 9.99 now in Florida. Those performances, Gordon, very much in line with one another. If you look at the point totals on World Athletics, one of them is 1,213, 1,214, and then 1,217. So they're giving the most credit to that 44.47. But it's just incredible how consistent he's been across these three events. And he doesn't really appear to have a weak event. Like all three are running on all cylinders right now for Fred Kerley this early in the season. I want to talk about where you think his best chance for gold lies, but just first, what was your reaction to the 999?
I mean, damn, right? I mean, but like I mean, 999 in a vacuum is not that fast, right? Because lots of by the end of the year, there's gonna be a lot of men who are gonna run sub 10 seconds. But he's doing it in March. He's doing it a week after running 20 flat, which is 2 weeks after running 44 seconds. These are like rust buster baseline results that he's putting out there. And if his
Yeah.
baseline is becoming 999, you know that he's setting himself up to be in the 9.8 conversation and maybe in the 9.7 conversation. And seeing how Coleman and Jacobs looked indoor, I think it's going to take a 9.7 potentially to win. And if it's going to take a 9.7, you need to have a really good baseline. And that's what he's showing. So that is the big question, though. He's putting down 3 marks that all
Yeah.
are indicators of I can be a medalist in that event. Now, obviously, I don't think he's tripling at Worlds, right? He's not doing the
Mhm.
100, 200, 400 triple. Probably is going to do a double. But I think he's likely to do the 1-2 double again
Mhm.
because it just doesn't, it seems like he's really focused on the sprinting. And I think the 400 something that might be more in the past for him. And the 400 more was just like a fitness, just, do a
Mhm.
400 to get the legs moving. But I do think he's going to be focusing on the 1, the 2. And I think for him, he doesn't, I think he really wants to make sure that his 200 is locked in to be able to be at the same level as 100 because his 200
Mhm.
last year was not at the level that Lyles was at, that Bednarik was at, even that Knighton was at, right? But I think Caroline has like,
It
a
got
little
there though.
carrot. It got there, but he has a carrot to go after, right? And that carrot is all right. Finish top 3 in the 200 at USA's because he didn't do that, and then
Mhm.
make a 200-meter final and put myself in position to have 2 medals as opposed to just one, and hopefully one of those 2 is the color gold. I think he's like,
Mhm.
I need 2 opportunities to get that gold. You know, I'm sure he's probably thinking I want 2 golds, but hey, 1 gold is better than no gold. So I think he wants to put himself out there for two legit chances at getting a gold.
Mhm. Yeah, the versatility is just impressive because we know how hard it is to be good in 2 events, let alone 4, or sorry, for 3, and then you add in the relay as well too. We could be seeing him multiple times on the track. When you go through event by event and try to figure out, okay, which one will be easier, you got to first think, okay, making the team, because in the U.S. it's hard, but in the 100 the U.S. gets 4 because Coleman has the bye, and then the 200 the U.S. gets 4 because Noah Lyles gets the bye. 400 U.S. gets 4 because Michael Cherry has a bye because he won the Diamond League last year as well too. So he's got a good path in all three either way. Then you look globally. Okay, where do you have him in the world in the 100? Last year, obviously medaled at the Olympics, but you have Coleman now. You have Jacobs running as good as ever. You have DeGrasse. You have Bromell. Again, you have Bracy. You have Baker. You have put Lyles potentially doubling up. You got Bednarik, and you got a lot of those same guys coming back in the 200, where you have um, Andre DeGrasse, Baker, Lyles, Bednarik,
Bednarik. Yeah.
Arian Knighton, etc. You go to the 4, I would think it's a little bit more open, but Steven Gardner is rock solid, and he doesn't look like he's going anywhere at all. You have Zambrano, and then you have Cherry and Norman. Obviously, the 400 I think takes a little bit more commitment, right? Like the thought process is if you do the 4, just going through the rounds and getting to the final is going to take a lot out of you. So I would guess same thing with you that it would be the 1 and the 2, but I don't know. After last year, I thought the 1s early on in the season, oh, he's just getting sharp. He's just getting sharp for the 400, and then he ended up sticking with it, ended up making the team, and ended up medaling. So I really have no idea what he's going to do, and you could make an argument for every single event out there for him. I would lean towards, okay, you're right. The 200, probably biggest opportunity for growth. He hasn't medaled at the 200 yet. And you're like, okay, halfway between the 1 and the 4. But remember last year, we talked a lot about how difficult it is to get the 200 right just in terms of timing. You come at it from like a distance runner's background. It's like, hey, how hard could it be? They were good in the 1500. They were good in the 10,000. They can run a 5,000. But distance running, you can kind of just follow along with the pack and then kick. You can't do that in the sprints. There's no person, you're not just going to follow along for 100 and be like, okay, I got the hang of this. Now I'm just going to kick away in the straightaway. So the timing is difficult to figure out. I would guess it would be the 200, but I don't know. If I had to bet right now, I'd probably say 1 and 2, but who knows where this goes.
You know what's interesting about Curly? He has a lot of cryptic tweets like, believe me, I will be the one to change the game forever. I
Mhm.
think Fred Kerley, this is a weird thing. I think he has a better shot to win world gold in the 100, but a better shot to break the world record in the 400. Like, if he's chasing an all-time time, I think he's got to
Yeah.
go the 4. If he's chasing medals, I think he's got to go the 1 and the 2, which is interesting. It's like you would think those would align, but just the way that the depth of the men's 100 and the fact that it's, we just saw a race come down to 0.003.
Yeah.
That doesn't really happen as much in a 400. You just it's just weird how that works out. So
Well,
anyway,
there's also some weird stuff around. Sometimes it's the event that it's harder to make the US team on. It's easier to medal. We've seen that before. Where you think, okay, if you could just get on to the team, then the path to the medal is easier. And there's also a situation where he could post a really fast time and still be on the outside looking in because we don't know where that 100 or 200 or even 400 is really going to go. But especially the 100 with how well Jacobs has been running. And if Coleman can get back to 2019 Coleman, so you have multiple guys in the 9.7s, it could take, you know, I know it's crazy to say, and a lot of this we end up looking silly in retrospect because things calm down, but it could take 9.7 to medal. Like that wouldn't be, I don't know how things will shake out the rest of the season, but basically you could run an incredible time and just be in the wrong event at the wrong time. Look at the 400-meter hurdles for men and women right now. Look at those times posted there. And sometimes it's only good enough for bronze. Or it's not even good enough for a medal. Uh, so yeah, you're right. It depends what he's chasing. I'm guessing what he's after is when he says, I'm going to change the game forever, is I think he's looking at making the team in multiple events. And once he gets there, posting historical times.
let's see it. I'm excited.